heard about Rohingya and heard about Burma, heard about genocide and so on. So the question is, what am I doing on a blockchain summit with the word Rohingya? There are two words from last year up till today are everywhere, all around the news. One is blockchain on the technological side, on the humanitarian catastrophe is the Rohingya. So we are combining Rohingya and the blockchain together to come up with a solution, to serve a real purpose. Before we go into it, I just would like to introduce who is Rohingya. Rohingya are the people, indigenous people, an ethnic minority of Burma in Arakan. Arakan is a state in Burma. And Rohingya has been persecuted for the last 70 years. And from 1982, they have been delisted as an ethnic minority and became one of the largest stateless population in the world, which is now facing on a multi-generational problem. A Rohingya cannot go to school, a Rohingya cannot go to hospital, a Rohingya cannot travel, a Rohingya and so on. Burma has managed to successfully carry them all out, push them all out of Burma. And today, 80% of the Rohingya population live outside Burma. So Burma is not even willing to accept those Rohingya people who were born in Burma. Now there are third to fourth generation people now living outside Burma. There are fourth generation now, their great-father came out of Burma, now their children born in Bangladesh, their children born in Malaysia, in Thailand, and so on. So these are the problems which we talk about, and recently United Nations has came out with a report which is now is confirmed that the Rohingya is victim of genocide. There are about 1.3 million people now living in Bangladesh who are refugees. But unfortunately, not all Rohingyas are refugees, but all Rohingyas are stateless people. So what it means to be an stateless is not be able to be recognized anywhere, to go anywhere, to be part of anything, which any normal citizen take it for granted. We are talking about 3 million Rohingya now being displaced globally. It's a major catastrophe in the world that is a man-made catastrophe. And from out of these 3 million people, which is increasing day by day, 90% of them are undocumented. When I say undocumented, nobody has a birth certificate, anything to do with identity or so on, so that they are being excluded financially, economically, and many other services that any normal citizen take it for granted. Due to that identity, due to that nationality, due to that particular paper, piece of plastic, that Rohingya is now one of the poorest people on earth that lives on a handout, on a daily bag of rice every day. If a bag of rice was not given in the morning, they cannot feed their children at night. That's how it came to, from a nation to become a minority. And of course, illiteracy, unfortunately, no Rohingya can say that we are even 1% of the entire Rohingya population is educated. So we are under 0% of education, and of course lack access to many other services, including education, medical and social services, and so on. So these are basically the problems that we are facing. Just to give you how big this problem is, this is a global map. So basically we are globally displaced. We are not only displaced in Bangladesh. Bangladesh carries about 1.3 million Rohingyas, and then next to it we have India, then we have Pakistan, we have UAE, and then we have Saudi Arabia. And then coming down to this side, we have about 5,000 people in Thailand, and here in Malaysia, this is the home to about 150,000 Rohingya who are undocumented, who are not economic migrant, but stateless people, struggling just to go to school, struggling just to get education and healthcare and so on. It's been just to go. What we are trying to achieve with this solution is that Rohingya Project is an initiative, a grassroots initiative, to combine and to give a digital identity for the stateless Rohingya people and use this digital identity and include them into financial inclusion. So basically they can get services like education, financial services, healthcare, and so on, and migration. So this is the project we have been modularizing. Just to go into it, why we need this is because Rohingya now has been pushed and designed to rot and to go into the dark economy. So they have no credit history, they have no any kind of wages or formal wages, and most importantly, they have been exploited everywhere, trafficking and into sex workers, unfortunately, and so on. So what we are trying to achieve, how to bring these Rohingya marginalized victim of genocide, how to bring them from dark economy to the mainstream economy where they can have basic rights, employment, and other type of services, and eventually moving them to a virtual economy, a global economy, and most importantly, it is a self-sovereign kind of way to administrate themselves and then to mobilize themselves to help and to uplift Rohingya people. Moving forward, of course, there will be a couple of phases, phase 1, 2, 3, which we can be available later on. I will be available, so I will not go into a lot of phases, but we are developing the foundation. We have now in phase 1, we are moving and scaling in phase 2 and phase 3. So this will be the final or the ultimate architecture that we are talking about. How can we provide financial solution like crowdfunding, microfinancing, waqaf, digital currency or digital asset, and so on. And most importantly, social uplifting, like giving them education, healthcare, employment, and of course, able to do some sort of online transaction. So, a lot of people ask us, how can we get involved? Of course, we have many ways. We need a strategic partner. We are here today is to present and to pitch this project, which is a very important project for the Rohingya people, where we are seeking a strategic partnership to develop the digital identity, to develop financial architecture on the blockchain and application, and at the same time, crowdfunding or funding of the whole project, and so on. So before I end, I think my time I would like to share my story. I was born in Middle East as an stateless person, and I'm a Rohingya. My parents have fled Burma in 70s, where they had to literally walk all the way from Bangladesh to India, to Pakistan, and so on, and all the way reaching the Middle East, where I was born. 20 years of my life, I have struggled so badly just to get education, just to get into any kind of services, or just to get on the bus, which was impossible. I have been dragged all over the world. I have been put into detention center for months. My body was rotten. I have suffered in my life so badly. And in a way, I have been working for the Rohingyas from the beginning, the day that I born my families. And what I have faced, I do not want any Rohingya to face this. That's why I have came out, and those who are fortunate enough within the Rohingya community would want to bring a solution to these marginalized people. We are like basically the sunset of this century. A Burmese community has killing us and torturing us. There are 18,000 women are raped. They have been pregnant with the military babies. People are tortured and captured and murdered and pushed away all around the world. And they are not only genociding within the border of Burma, but also genociding outside the border. People living in Malaysia, people living in Thailand have no education, have no identity, have no hope to go back. So everybody is condemning and everybody is trying to give sympathy, but we are trying to bring a solution here. So I want to welcome, and I want everyone to come and hand to hand join us to uplift this nation, to uplift this Rohingya marginalized people, and then using this technology. That is the motto which I have written here. And all this while, technology has helped comforting people, bringing solution on the table. But today, we are talking about how can we use technology to save humanity, which is if we do not use this, Rohingya in next 5 to 10 years either will be killed, or they will be murdered, or will be slaved, or maybe, and then, as everybody tells, that silence on a genocide is a complicit. So I want to tell everyone from this stage that please help Rohingya. One day, all of you will be proud. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Huge respect for Brother Noor, and honestly, you can feel the passion from him.